There have been a lot of legendary moments for guitars in films over the last 40 to 50 years, from Marty McFly's Gibson ES-345 to Nigel Tufnell's infinitely sustaining 59 Les Paul. But what about when films are in guitars? Often in crazy shapes with ridiculous moulded parts. This week's episode of the Guitar Nerds Top 5 Countdown is brought to you with the help of Mellow Audio's MIDI Commander. We reviewed this product on the Guitar Nerds podcast and we were very impressed. A portable, well-built USB and MIDI controller with 8-foot switches and banking, easily compatible with Axe FX or Helix Rack Kemper, or even Eventide H9. Run it using plugins on your iPhone, iPad, iPod, MacBook, Android or Windows device. It essentially takes any software controllable via MIDI and makes it gig ready. What more could you need? And without further ado, this is Guitar Nerd's Top 5 Weirdest TV-themed Guitars. Pretty out there UK luthiers Devil & Sons put this instrument out to commemorate the 25th anniversary of Alien 3, the Xenomorph 3. The third Alien franchise-inspired guitar that Devil & Sons have made, the Xenomorph 3 is certainly their most ambitious. With a body caked in clear resin, meticulously sculpted as the saliva and drips from the iconic Alien vs. Ripley scene, where the Xenomorph leans into Ripley in a moment that we all thought would be Ripley's last. The guitar body creates a complete 3D H.R. Giger-inspired alien head, with its lower jaw sculpted from the lower horn, and the main bulk of the alien head across the upper horn and bow of the guitar. The neck becomes the elongated tongue, and the headstock that weird second mouth thing, making this a pretty awesome, gruesome work of art. Remember those giant Millennium Falcon toys? Perfect shape for a guitar body, right? Okay, so Star Wars inspired guitars have been around for a while, from Darth Maul shred machines to the Boba Fett, and there have been about a gazillion home builds where people have taken the Millennium Falcon toy body and yammed some crappy guitar neck on it, but one company has made an entire career out of doing it properly. Donni Guitars, another UK-based luthier responsible for the Les Paul, essentially bought a shitload of the Millennium Falcon toys and made an entire line of Donni solo guitars. Available with Les Paul Strat or Tele pickup configurations, Donni Guitars made a lot of these instruments, and it even extended the model to include a 4 and a 5-string bass. Complete with LED lights and a ton of mojo, the Donni Solo is a must-have for any Star Wars fanatic. One of the greatest movies of 1991, with special effects that have stood the test of time even 18 years later, Terminator 2 Judgement Day deserves a guitar as groundbreaking as the film itself. And thanks once again to Devil & Sons, it got just that. The Devil & Sons BC Rich Mockingbird T800. A company that prides themselves on making works of art that you can play, this is their absolute masterpiece. Not only inspired by the film, but also by the Guns N' Roses music video for You Could Be Mine, which starred everyone's favourite T800. Attending a Guns N' Roses gig and even giving Axl a cheeky little smile at the end there. The guitar is the same model played by Slash in the music video and features steampunk controls, Terminator head knobs, and of course a giant Terminator skull with red LED lit eyes and a skeletal Terminator arm reaching up around the body of the instrument. Second on this list is a guitar inspired by the movie franchise responsible for the single greatest guitar film moment in history. The Back to the Future inspired donor design Time Machine bass guitar. Built over the course of 3 years, the Donor Time Machine pays meticulous attention to detail and actually has a surprising amount of functionality. Featuring flashing lights, a selectable destination year display, a flux capacitor, and a complex array of electronic components inspired by the classic 80s flick. Constructed from a Warmoth body and neck and featuring premium parts from a Babbage bridge to Nordstrand pickups, hip shop tuning machines, and an Axstream Creations pickguard, as well as a nitrocellulose lacquer finish using re-ranched nitro. The Donna bass is more than just a looker, it's a high-quality player's bass as well. Chicago-based Donor Designs are a part-time charity founded by Steve Donor and his son. The Time Machine bass is the 7th model they've created, and it is their most ambitious by miles. Past projects have been donated to large United States-based charities, including the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Very fittingly, the Time Machine bass is currently being auctioned off, with all proceeds going to the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation for the princely sum of $15,000. The listing is currently on eBay, so check it out. There's a link to it in the description of this video. Donor have also put out a number of detailed videos explaining the quite random functionality of the Time Machine element of this bass. Unlike the rest of this list, this collection of instruments is actually officially sanctioned by the show it pays homage to, the Fender Game of Thrones Sigil series of custom shops. A slight cheat, I guess, as there are 3 guitars in the series. The Game of Thrones guitars are far less over the top than everything else mentioned on this list. If anything, they're actually quite good looking. So what makes them weird? Well, the other guitars in this list are all essentially fan art. And if you're into a show, why not make a guitar in its likeness? But Fender teaming up with an HBO series about dragons, incest, and penis removal, and making a set of custom shop master-built guitars that cost more than pretty much everything else in their catalogue. That's pretty weird. The Sigil collection draws detailed inspiration from each house's family seal, costume design, armor, weaponry, and geography. Avid Game of Thrones fan Fender master builder Ron Thorne took on the challenge of building each of the 3 guitars with perhaps a touch too much enthusiasm. These instruments aren't just nods towards the award-winning Hugh Hefner's take on Lord of the Rings, they're an absolute homage to each house's subtle nuance. Appropriately, the Starks sport a workhorse Telecaster complete with silver purfling around a grey swamp-ash body, nickel silver direwolf plate, and a sterling silver house sigil. The Lannisters' Gaudi red and gold Jaguar features 24-karat gold leaf with laser-cut heraldry design on both the front and the back of the guitar, a hand-cut and engraved brass lion sigil inlay on the first fret, and a 24-karat leaf heraldry design carved into the headstock face. And the Targaryen Stratocaster, with its incredibly detailed dragon scale body, hand-milled over the course of 19 hours in order to have a realistically varied scale effect, and a hand-tooled and stained leather pickguard that features the Targaryen sigil. The range is, as outrageous as it is, completely awesome, but it might be the most unexpected release Fender have ever had. So there you have it, the Guitar Nerd's top 5 weirdest TV-themed guitars. But what do you think? What did we miss? Let us know in the comments below. If you'd like to check out our sponsor or any of the guitars from this list, then as always, the links are in the description. And if you've liked this video, then give us a like and subscribe to Guitar Nerds for more weekly nerdy guitar videos. Farewell.